Hello everybody. Today I'm just going to show you a little bit about my book Homeopathy and Patterns in the Periodic Table Part 1. It's a book that's very dear to me because it's the first book I've written, but also because I have been always very interested in the minerals of the periodic table. The book focuses on explaining to you the method that we work with, our case-taking process, the way we look at any disease in nature, the way we look at a personality, and of course then it focuses on all the elements of the first 3 rows of the periodic table and also on noble gases and salt cases. If you're a beginner with the sensation method, or if you're a teacher who teaches it, or if you are someone who goes to very in-depth understanding of the personality of the patient, then this book is a must. I'll take you through the index of the book, and this will tell you about the contents. The first part of the book, or the first few chapters, are the chapters called I and You. And this is, I would say, more a philosophical thought process of ours that I have put forth in the book. The way we look at patients, the way we look at diseases and at life in general. And so it will highlight or it will explain to you why does one fall sick in the first place. So these are the I and You. Beyond this, I have put forth chapters on the kingdoms, which explains the difference between the mineral, the plant, and the animal kingdom in our homeopathic world. Once we finish with the kingdoms, I have then very systematically and clearly laid out the entire pattern of the minerals in the periodic table, the reason why certain rows have certain features, and how does one row progress, or how do the features progress from one row to the next and from one column to the next in the periodic table. So I have actually given the patterns row by row and column by column. And then we focused on the first 3 rows of the periodic table. In each row, I have explained the characteristics of all the elements of that row, the way the patients would present in that row of that periodic table. The next is to take individual elements of that row, and under each individual element I have put in the characteristics of that element, the materia medica available or proving symptoms available of that element, the clinical picture of that element, and then finally I have put in a case of every single element. Under every element you will find either 1 or 2 cases which explain to you how a patient would present to you. And then there is conclusion and discussion of the case, and also rubrics related to the case. So all in all, it's a complete materia medica of each element of the periodic table in the first 3 rows. It also has tables of the second row, tables of the third row, which show you, or which are a good quick reference for you to pick out the characteristics of every element in the periodic table. The next is then a chapter on halogens, where I've explained how all halogens behave and the materia medica of all the halogen remedies in our homeopathic world. Then is a chapter of about 80 pages on the noble gases. We've had the privilege to see several noble gas cases in our practice, and then we made a thorough study of these noble gases and have laid out a complete understanding, materia medica, and characteristics and clinical picture of noble gas remedies, which is all put forth along with cases. So you have cases of helium, argon, neon, xenon. You have all these cases and materia medica of these noble gases. Then there is another interesting chapter following the noble gases, which is that of salts and compounds. How would remedies which are salt remedies, for example magnesium phosphoricum, natrum muriaticum, how would these remedies present to you? Because here you do not have one element but 2 or 3 elements in the compound. So how would this complex picture of a salt present to you? And then of course there are several cases that I have illustrated of salt remedies. After I finish with the minerals of the first 3 rows, I have then gone on to give you features of imponderable remedies and specific characteristics of certain imponderables and a case of positronium, because imponderables also come close to mineral remedies in a way. Though I haven't included the 4th, 5th and the 6th rows in this book, I have included in the first chapter, or I would rather say in one of the first chapters, the characteristics of all the rows, the 4th, 5th and the 6th row of the periodic table. And when I've included characteristics, I've also explained how we have developed these characteristics and how we have formed these pictures. At the end of the book, there are also rubrics that we have used from our materia medica and repertories that have helped us to come to this whole understanding of the rows and the columns. The book was published in 2008 for the first time, and the book is available in English, in Russian, in German, and in the Japanese language. I hope you enjoyed this lovely book and you understand mineral remedies in your practice. Thank you.